Hey there, brothers and sisters. That's what truth here. Jay from Virginia for the new people, and just wanted to do a video for you. Um, I've been going over a lot of emails, and before I did that, I was basically just checking in, to see what the news of the day had been. Been really kind of weird here, weather-wise. It's like almost 80 degrees the other day, and now we got a big old ice storm and snow, and it's like, 20 something degrees out or so. I mean, it's just nuts. Uh, Not normal at all. But besides that, the main thing I was wanting to kind of cover is, I've got a lot of people asking me about my thoughts on, what's going on. Um, and I thought about, doing a video where, bring all kinds of scripture and all that in it, but just kind of thought, coming off of Sabbath, let's kind of sit back and just kind of have a chat. Um, I don't do this very often, so I thought, okay, let's just kind of give a little chat a little bit. Basically, on the world stage, if you're not aware of, Russia has invaded Ukraine, and, this so-called war that's going on, which, there are, you know, bombs and tanks and troops and so on and so forth. There's people dying. But beyond that, this has all been planned. Um, you figure Putin has, sanctions by everyone, and, our fearless leader, uh, Mr. Biden, has come out and said that, the sanctions that was put on Russia is not only for Russia, but for other countries and the United States. And then he took it even further and said, that he was in a meeting, and he said, they're going to do all that they can to, speed up the shortages of food for the United States, supply shortages and so on and so forth. So, you know, that's coming. But, they've been talking about this for a long time. Um, if you don't know that there was a huge fire in Illinois that took out a huge Walmart distribution hub where they had all their stock and all that, and because of it, Walmart's closing like another 187 stores. Um, you know, Before that, if you remember, there was a huge fire at an Amazon storage hub, and they're closing down there too. So they're just tightening the noose more and more and more. And if you notice, just with what's been going on the last few years, they've made it hard for anybody to keep a job with all these restrictions that they put on with, the sickness that was going around that wasn't really going around, but, the face diapers and so on and so forth, mandates here and there. And now you figure another thing that's happened is Applebee's, I saw, was going to reduce the rates that they were paying their employees. And of course, the employees rose up, had a fit, and most of them quit. And so Applebee's is closing a lot of places, which never been to one, never plan to go. So be that as it may, I couldn't tell you anything about it other than the name. Um, but I mean, the stage is being set, and the media and everywhere you go, you're hearing about either nuclear war, an EMP attack. The grid is, vulnerable of the United States. Um, our fearless leader again today called Vladimir Putin a butcher and invoked the Father's name and said that there's no way that Vladimir Putin can be left in power. These are things that has never been before. So, they're playing it up really, really big. And Putin, on the other hand, is, switching his currency to be backed by gold. No longer is he going to accept the petrodollar, the dollar of the United States. China is going to go in behind them and follow, what they're doing. Same with Saudi Arabia and other places. And they're going to dethrone the American dollar. And if you look at the whole world stage, don't get caught on looking at just one particular aspect of what's going on. You've got to back up and look at the big picture, because all of these little things go together to, set up a huge agenda that, the world is going for. And, when the United States was founded, read Albert Pike, what he said, it was an experiment. And, they used this nation of America to do what they wanted to do and made everybody beyond evilly rich. And now it's time that they've got what they've needed to do. The experiment is done, and now it's time to deal with this rogue nation, of free people, or sort of free people. So, they're going to make a massive move. And I think, all the food shortages and the supply shortages and so on and so forth, I think it's all going to come together at the exact same time as they take the grid out. And you figure, when I say the grid, I'm talking about all electrical, all internet, everything, all Wi-Fi, all of it. And, whether or not it'll be permanent, I don't know. I don't think it'll be a permanent thing. That's why I think they may claim an EMP, and yet they'll probably just turn everything off and, lie to the people and say, Russia hit us with a cyber attack, or, North Korea used the EMP satellite on us, or whatever. And you're not going to know, because you're not going to have no electricity. You're not going to have no internet. You're not going to have no phone. And what will ensue is total chaos. And, that is the Brotherman's agenda. Order out of chaos. And, I don't know if you've noticed, how the millennials are, but they cannot survive more than 5 or so minutes without their phone. I mean, I've got nieces and nephews and that when they go to the bathroom, they take their phone with them. Just to, update their Facebook. I mean, what is wrong with people? You're sitting on the toilet and you're just, doing these little, glamour shots while you're taking a dump. I mean, come on. It's just, the mental capacity of people nowadays is just, they're vain. And, Ecclesiastics, the book, all is vanity. And he knew what he was talking about. He might have been the smartest person in the world at that time, Solomon. But it didn't help him in his old age, because, he died serving other gods. It just goes to show you, you can be as smart and as brilliant of a person ever. You can be, something that the world has never seen before and seem to have it all figured out. And the Father was with him and blessed him with knowledge and understanding and wisdom, because he asked for knowledge and that, and then God not only gave him that, but he enriched him. Everybody talks about, the mark of the beast, the mark of the beast, the mark of the beast. That number is only mentioned twice. Well, actually, it's 3 times in the Bible. Once in the book of Revelation and chapter 13. But the other 2 times is in Kings and Chronicles, where it's talking about the amount of gold that Solomon brought in. 666. A number of a man. And, just, goes to show you that lesson, that never trust your own intellect, because, we were born into a sinful world. But back to what we was talking about, this world stage. Never has there been this much talk about nuclear war. France just sent out its nuclear submarines. France has now strapped their nuclear missiles and that on their aircraft, flying them now. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, that you don't bring this stuff out and start flying around with it if you don't plan to use it sooner or later. We're building up Poland with, our Patriot missile systems. We're sending troops. We're sending tanks. We're sending all kinds of things. Our military bases here in the United States are empty. And then, out of the blue, look it up. You'll find out that there's rumors of them starting a draft. Yeah. Boy, the millennials will love that. And then, one of the things that did tickle me is you got these gay and lesbian transgender things. You got men that's trying to be women over in Ukraine that's trying to leave, and they get to the border and they're like, dude, you're a man. Go back and fight. We're not letting you out. You're going to have to go back and fight. It's just kind of funny to me, that, all this equal rights thing, and now this man becomes trying to be a woman, and he's got to go back and fight. And then, here we are in the United States. You've got all these millennial people that are so far liberal. They don't want to fight for this country. They just want a free check and their game systems and to be left alone. They're not going to fight for this place. They have no honor. They don't have no love, most of them. They have no discipline. And I'm not being mean. The things are set in this way for a reason. We have come to the time where, the will of the Father, the things that He wrote in His Word will come to pass, whether we want them to or not. And, there's no sense being afraid, because it's coming. You either are a child of Yahuwah and have nothing to worry about other than, the process to which you will die, or you're a child of the devil. And then you're basically just a child of wrath, awaiting the wrath of the Father to be poured out upon you. And, it's just amazing people want to analyze this stuff from 40 different points. And it's like, why? Just look at it for what it is. There's a lot of things that are going on. It's the first time it's ever happened. It's because we're headed to where the Bible has said that we're headed. people really struggle, and I did for a long time, with the fact that we as the children of Yahuwah are sheep sent out to the slaughter. We are commanded to be wise as a serpent and harmless as doves. When we're captured and rounded up, we're to take no thought into what we will say at that time, but what we will say will be given to us by the Spirit of Yahuwah at the time we are to speak, for a testimony against them. See, brothers and sisters, we're just passing through. This isn't our home. You know, all of the energy that you put forth in trying to make this place yours, it'll never be yours. You know, even though your house is paid for, you still don't own it. Nothing in this world do you own. You know, you go and you buy a car. Even though you paid that car note off, you better pay your personal property tax on that car or they'll come and take that car. Same thing with your house. And, you know, here in Virginia, you know, we can't even gather up rainwater. You know, it's against the law. You know, who made them God and said that we can't gather what God freely gives, you know? They're tightening the noose, trying to take away freedoms that were given to us by our Creator. And, you know, to a point, they'll get it for a while. You know, the enemy will rule and reign here for a while. And, you know, during that time that the enemy rules and reigns, those of us, you know, that are children of Yahuwah are going to be hated. We're going to be sought out. And when I say sought out, we're going to be sought out in different ways. You have those who are ruling and reigning that want us dead. But you have other people that are now seeing the light and seeing the truth. They want to seek us out, to hear the truth, and to receive that gift of eternal life. Not that we have to be the one to give it, but the information, you know, just as the word says, there's coming a time that there is going to be a famine in the land. And he's not talking about a famine of food or water. He's talking about a famine for the word of Yahuwah. Because just as Hitler did, they're going to burn all the Bibles that they can round up. You know, all of the stuff, the digital age, you know, all that's going to be worthless because technology is going bye-bye unless you're one of them. You know, they're going to institute the whole transhumanism agenda. And, you know, if you go down that road, you're no longer human. You know, there's a lot of things coming at us. You know, as they call it, the 1,000 points of light. You know, it's twofold, you know, coming at us, you know, to where there's so much going on that we cannot stand against it. And besides, we have allowed them, the so-called elite, to get so powerful that they're beyond anyone being able to stand against them besides the Father. You know, even if all of the world come together in unity, they have the ability to turn on their technology and eliminate us. You know, it's just the truth, you know, and it had to be this way. We were lulled into, a false sense of security. They gave us, these technological toys to, manipulate our mind and keep us from, you know, being part of that which we needed to be a part of. While also at the same time, through their crooked politics and their backdoor deals, they reshaped the way the world works to where it benefits them. And of course, from the time that the fallen made contact with us again, time of our industrial revolution, they've been giving us technology and, helping us, well, not us, but the elite, put together their so-called kingdom. And, you know, you have all these people that are stressed out and worried. There's no time for worry. There's nothing to worry about. Things are happening as they should. And if you find that you have fear, you need to get on your knees and cry out to the Father. Because, perfect love casts out all fear. He didn't give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. You see all these, these little flesh bodies, that are our leaders. Because, not all of them are human. I'm going to get into that right now. But, they're clones and so on and so forth. But, they are just puppets doing as they're told. If they don't do as they're told, they will disappear. Once you make that deal with the enemy, there's no unringing that bell. And a lot of people, I think early on they thought once they made that deal for the fame and the fortune that they could, turn from it. It doesn't work that way. The enemy has ways of taking hold of you to where you can never return. And, that's getting into, the way the kingdom of the enemy works, the reptilian part of it, the proboscises and so on and so forth. But, start talking like that, everybody thinks you're crazy and nuts, even though it's 100% biblical. There's only one kingdom that's not represented in heaven, and that's the reptilian kingdom, because Gabriel was a seraphim over the reptilian kingdom. That's why, he chose the serpent to beguile Eve. And, it just goes farther from that. There's a reason why there's so much about the reptilian, draconian, and dragon and so on like that in mythology. It's like them dancing a carrot in front of you while they're laughing at you because they know that you don't know. But if you search out and seek looking for the truth, you can find it. The problem nowadays is most people have been conditioned with indoctrination so strong that they will not hear the truth because it sounds crazy. And the truth is stranger than fiction nowadays. We're now in the days to where you cannot believe what you're seeing with your own eyes. You can't believe what you're hearing because it may not be real. That's why Christ, every time they asked him about the end times, he always said, always, no matter who asked him, he always said, take heed lest any man deceive you. These are exciting times that we live in. What do I see coming? I could really truly see them taking the grid down, which they will do. 100% they will take the grid out. Whether it will be an EMP or nuclear war, I don't, nuclear missiles do not exist. They have far worse things than that, but, nuclear missiles is just one of them things to scare people. Yes, they have neutron bombs and so on and so forth, but they do not have nuclear weapons. Sorry, that's a pipe dream. Not going to get into it. Just do go and look it up. Look up Galen Windsor. He'll tell you everything you need to know. Galen Windsor, he swam in the heavy water pools of the nuclear facilities. He built them. He knows exactly what he's talking about. He used to eat uranium and all that for over 70 or 80 years till the day he died of natural causes. It's all about money. This fear about radioactive weapons and so on and so forth. It's a pipe dream. Radiation does exist, yes, but the splitting of the atom and so on and so forth, it's a pipe dream. But yes, they're going to possibly bring about a war that will end in the demise of the United States. The United States power structure has to go bye-bye because the power structure is going to shift to the east. China will be the world power. They already have all of the surveillance. They have all of the dictatorship and control of the people, and that's what they want for the world. The only thing they need to do is they need to downsize the population. Commandment number 1 on the just forgot the name of them, the stones and the Georgia Guidestones, is to depopulate the earth to 500 million. As of right now, it's like 8 billion people got to die. Don't believe the lie of, we're overpopulated. We're not. They just want everything for themselves, and they want to be able to control whatever amount of people is left. They want to be an intimate part of your life and what you do, what you say, what you think. They're going to bring about, the thought police, arresting people for, thinking that they're going to do a crime, like the Minority Report movie. We're going into 1984, a true Orwellian way of life. And all I can say is, all that stuff, yes, it's true. But if you've got the Father, we've already won. We just got to see it through. The way that Christ said it, he said, that you'll suffer tribulation and some of you will be killed, but to all those who endure, give you a crown of life. It's like nonchalantly talking about this stuff. And, it used to bother me before, but, I see it the way he sees it now. This life don't matter. Big whoop, you're going to take out my earth suit. Wow, set me free. And that should be our attitude. We do not fear anyone that can kill this, because this is going to die anyway. We fear the one that can kill this and what's in here and throw it into the lake of fire. So, I beg you, if you don't know the Father, cry out to him, because he loves you. He's just waiting for you to cry out to him. He loves us all. He's no respecter of persons. And, he even said it in his word. He wished above all things that none should perish, but come to repentance and have everlasting life. He sent his Son to save all of us. So if you screw around and wind up going to the lake of fire, it's because you chose it. You know, the Father has done everything He could do for us. You know, He doesn't want robots. So He's not going to force you to do nothing. You've got a free will. Like I said in many videos, from the day that you were born, one thing that you have to do is make a choice. You're either going to be a child of the Father or a child of the devil. There is no in between. There's no remaining neutral. And if you don't make a choice, you still made a choice. Because even if you don't choose the Father, you're choosing the devil. So, you know, everyone that's asking me about these world events, yeah, things are getting bad. We're coming to the point where we're going to have a lot of bad stuff happen. Yep, lights are going to go out. Yep, we're going to go hungry. Yep, we're going to have a lot of things go on. But it's getting closer and closer to the time we go home. So be it. I'm not attached to anything here. Neither should you be. You know, the Father will protect His own. You know, we have that promise He gave to the Church of Philadelphia, to those that, you know, are truly walking in obedience to Him. He will save from the hour of tribulation that comes upon the world. I don't know how that's going to happen, because we know that the resurrection happens on the last day. I think He's going to protect us just like He did with the Israelites as He brought them out of Egypt. There'll be all hell breaking loose all around us, but it won't come nigh unto us, because the Father loves to show off His power in the front of the enemy. You know, it'll be like a hedge or an invisible wall around us to where we can't be touched. But you have to believe, and you have to be His. So, you know, don't focus on the doom and gloom, and definitely don't have fear, because fear is just an open door for the enemy to come in and torment you and oppress you. You know, keep your eyes focused upon the Father. You know, there are scores and scores of prophets in the Old Testament that would love to be alive right now, to see the things that they prophesied about coming to pass. You know, these are exciting times. We're almost to the end. Be thou faithful. He'll give us a crown of life. Brothers and sisters, that's the only thing that matters, is making it home. So I encourage you to, you know, be aware of what's going on, but don't fret over it. Do what you can to, you know, help yourself and your loved ones. Yes, you know, if you want to call it prepping or whatever, but don't make that your whole being, the way of being, you know. Don't let that envelop you. You know, now is the time we push into Him. Because I don't care what you have. If you don't have the Father, you're not going to make it. That's just the truth. So, I'll leave it at that. I pray everybody has a good night. I pray everybody is just seeking the face of the Father. I thank you for your prayers. I'm still praying for you all. Again, if anybody needs to get a hold of me, email me at jtt1777@outlook.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And Yahuwah bless you and keep you always. Until the next one.